All right, in this lesson, what we are going to be doing is looking at Microsoft Excel and how it can be used to create different graphs. Specifically, today we're going to be looking at pie graphs or circle graphs, as well as bar graphs. Now, what we've done previously, at least in this particular lesson or in this class, is we have set up a survey. So here's just a sample survey that I've set up and had students answer. Okay, so they answered, for example, in the first question, what's your favorite subject in school? And they have all these particular answers. Now, this is Microsoft Forms. This does have bar graphs and circle graphs, but it has its limitations. The first and major limitation is you can't choose the type of graph. The second limitation is that these are not high resolution graphs. So if you ever get into graphic design and you need to have a higher resolution chart or graph, you can see that these edges here it's a pretty high resolution circle graph, or if you look at one like this, for example, this is a nice high resolution circle graph. You're going to want to use a different program to get that high resolution circle graph. And the final limitation that we have in Microsoft Forms is you can't really edit the color scheme, although you could do it in Photoshop if you wanted to. So we're going to deal with all those, but first of all, how to create forms. What you do is you open up Excel. If you've downloaded Excel, rather than using the web version, you're going to have better luck. You're just going to have more options. Okay, it works similarly with the web version, you just have less options. So with my first question here, so what's your favorite subject in school? And I have all the categories and numbers here. All you do in Excel, first of all, is just have two columns. So I label the first one favorite subject, because that's what the category was. And then I listed all the choices underneath. And then my second column was called number of students, because that's what that category was. And then this was the number of students who picked each choice. Okay, so it's that simple. The next thing you want to do is just highlight or select all of those cells. And once you've done that, if you go up to Insert, again, the web version's a little bit different, but it's still under Insert. You can insert charts. So it's as easy as, if you want a circle graph, you could do a simple two-dimensional circle graph. Okay, if you wanted something else, I'm going to just show you really quickly how to do, there's three-dimensional circle graphs, there's bar graphs if you'd like to. You can even go into more statistical charts, so that if you get stuck on the bar graph that you have, there's other column charts here, so there's three-dimensional ones. You can kind of see previews of each one if you'd like to. Please don't do a stacked bar graph. This makes absolutely no statistical sense as far as what we want to do. We want a side-by-side type of bar graph, okay? So make sure it's reasonable. But that's the basic premise, but I want to show you a few other things you can edit. And I'm going to show you that with the three-dimensional circle graph. So this three-dimensional circle graph here, first limitation, or one of the limitations I mentioned, is you can't get a high-res image from Microsoft Forms. What you want to do is later on, to get a high resolution circle graph, make it as large as you can on the screen, because what we are going to be doing is taking a screenshot of it. Okay, now previously I had shown you a website before, so for those who are interested in color schemes, you can change the colors here if you'd like to. So there's different color schemes, but maybe none of these match kind of what you're going for. So a couple things you can do. You can edit this in Photoshop, but I want to show you how in Excel you can edit the colors. So let's say one of the color schemes that you wanted, I'm just going to go to a color scheme website, just show you how you can implement that onto your graphs in Excel if you'd like to. Okay, so here's a color scheme website. And let's say, for example, the first color scheme that comes up is one that suits my school type of graph that I want. Okay, I only have 5 colors here, so I might have to come up with my own colors later. But basically is what we're going to do. Let's say I want this pink color. I could copy this hex code. I'm just going to copy it. There's other types of colors you can do the RGB, etc. But hex code works. Go back to Excel. Click on a cell, or click on a piece of pie, and then you can go up more specifically into Format, and then Shape Fill, and under Shape Fill you can go to More Fill Colors and Custom. And when you paste in your hex code into here, you're going to see that exact precise pink color. So that's how we can implement hex codes into Microsoft Excel charts. I'll just do a couple of these, but you can do it with all of them and with your entire color scheme. But I'm just going to More Fill Colors, Custom, and you can paste in your color scheme, and you can see that's kind of that bluey color that's right here. That's exactly that color, in fact. So that's a big idea. You can implement all your colors, and if you run out, you can just come up with some on your own that actually suit the exact parameters. And then the last thing you'll do to bring this into Photoshop, if you'd like to, is just take a screenshot. Okay, so I'm going to take a screenshot. Again, there's probably multiple other ways you could do this. And at that point in time, we've got a much higher res. In fact, I can show you how high a resolution that is in just 1 second here. So I'm just going to save it on my desktop as capture. And I can edit it in Photoshop as well if I'd like to. But if I go onto my desktop and I look at that capture and its properties, you can see that it is super high resolution. It's 2249 by 1368. Depends on your screen resolution, but you're going to get a higher resolution image by doing that. So that's how to create graphs and edit graphs inside Microsoft Excel.